Hi class, my name is Alicia Yergi. Today is February 14th, 2021. The time is 11:30 p.m. Today we're going to be discussing the axial and appendicular skeleton. Okay, so here we have skeleton. We're going to be discussing the axial part of the skeleton and starting with the anterior skull, which is the front here. We have the nasal and the sphenoid located here. The lacrimal would be located right here, mandible here and here. The ethmoid would be located right here. Zygomatic is going to be located here. Maxilla is here, and frontal located here. And the vomer is actually the midline that divides the nasal cavity right here down the nose. Next, we're going to be talking about the posterior skull, okay, which is the back of the skull. From the back, we have the occipital, which is the base of the skull. The parietal would be the top right here. Temporal, we have right here on the side, and the mandibles right here. Inferior part of the skull, which would be below here. We have, again, the ethmoid, frontal, occipital, parietal. A sphenoid would be located here, and the temporal is actually located on the side by the sphenoid. The lateral skull, which would be the side of the skull. Again, you can't really see it if it's turned to the side, but towards the side again, we have the same structures: the ethmoid, the frontal, the lacrimal, mandible, and maxilla on each side. Nasal, we have the occipital back here. The parietal would be back here, and temporal were right here, and then again zygomatic is located right about here. Next, we're going to be talking about the vertebral column. The atlas begins with the first vertebrae in the C-spine, or the cervical spine, and this is to support the skull. The axis would be actually the second vertebrae in the cervical spine, and this actually helps with turning the head side to side. Cervical vertebrae, you're going to find C127 in the C-spine. The thoracic would be the vertebrae 1 through 12 located here in the mid-back, and the lumbar vertebrae, you have L1 through 5, which is the lower back here. The coccyx we have here, and the sacrum is located here. The thoracic cage, the body of sternum, again, it's made up of 3 parts. We have the manubrium of the sternum, and then we have the sternum here, and then the xiphoid process. So that actually makes the body of the sternum. The false ribs would be actually 3 pairs of false ribs, and they are located actually after the true ribs. So the true ribs are ribs 1 through 7. False ribs, again, 3 pairs, which would be the next 3 after true ribs, and the floating ribs would be 2 pairs, and that would be located under. Next, we will be discussing the appendicular portion of the skeleton, which is the pectoral girdle and upper limbs. We will start with the clavicle, which is located here, the humerus here, the radius, we are right here on the thumb side, and the ulna right here, and the scapula is actually located back here. The hand and wrist, we have the metacarpals, which are located right here, and the phalanges right here. The bones right here on the hand, they're actually tiny bones. On the thumb side, we have the scaphoid, the trapezium, the trapezoid, and the capitate, which makes up the carpals. And then on the outer portion of the hand, we have the lunate would be here. Then we have the hamate, and then we have the pisiform and the, I'm not sure if I'm saying this right, but the tricatrum. But another set of 4 that make up carpals, so a total of 8 in the hand. Next, we're going to be discussing the pelvic girdle and the lower limbs. The ilium, which is located right here. The ischium portion is down here. The pubic bone is actually right here. Femur, patella. We have the tibia and the fibula. And then next we'll move to the ankle and the foot. The calcaneus, which is actually the heel bone, is located right here. And then we have, again, the metatarsal, and then we have the phalanges here. There are 3 sets of bones located right here on the foot, which are called the lateral, intermediate, and the medial cuneiform. So lateral is actually gonna be right here next to the cuboid. Medial, and then oh no, I'm sorry. I think we're gonna do the intermediate and the medial, and then laterals right here. Again, cuboids on this side. The talus is actually located right here. Navicular is located right here. And now I'm done discussing the rest of the bones. The disease that I chose to discuss is osteoporosis. It is characterized by excessive loss of calcium from bones without sufficient replacement, causing bones to become weak and brittle. Structural changes and functional changes is reduced bone density, structure in the spongy bone, as well as thinning in the cortical bone. Contributing factors can be smoking, inactivity, insufficient calcium intake, lack of sex hormones, in other words, menopause, and then age. And that's it.